Well, everyone, I'm excited once again to be with you to talk about this month's leadership article. And we're going to chat about the 7 transformations of leadership. And this is really about navigating the evolution of leadership styles. When we first start leading, and usually in EMS, it's really hard to get that leadership training we need to really be effective. And we've joked about, and we've said for a lot of years, and it really isn't a joke, that sometimes you become a leader because you've been there the longest and they just pass you the clipboard and the keys and say, do your best. But when we start to really think about the art and science of leadership, it really is important that we transform and get to where we need to be at the very, very top level. I got to tell you, when I first started as a leader, I was very horrible. I was poor. And one of the things that I had to be able to figure out was, how do I become the best leader possible? And that's where I learned about the 7 transformations of leadership. And leadership is dynamic, it's ever evolving. It's shaped by the needs of the organization. It's shaped by the needs of your people. When we think about the research that's been done in recent decades, scholars have really tried to identify and let us know about the 7 transformations of leadership that individuals may go through as you progress through your leadership journey. And one of the things that I want to be able to give you today is what those 7 transformations are. So the first is opportunist. The opportunist leader is really self-centered. It's really a manipulative approach to leadership. We don't really know any better. Do as I say, not as I do. You're going to do it because I said so. That's why. And really, when you think about leadership, do we ever really move from this style of leadership? And we really have to, because when we're treading water and trying to figure out, we're doing the best that we can with as minimal information or as minimal knowledge and training as we can. Number two is the diplomat. The diplomat transformation represents a little bit of a shift towards you being more cooperative, you gaining consensus, you really trying to figure out the best way to create harmony and to avoid conflict. I want you to think about it. If you've ever had that optimistic style, and I did, really people would they'd regret me, hearing from me and me trying to lead them. But diplomatic leaders are valuable in situations. They may require more collaboration, they may require more team cohesion. And really, this kind of gets to making the shift from being more self centered to being more of a team leader. Next, you start to become the expert. This is number three now. As a leader, you become more knowledgeable and skilled in your specific style of leadership. These leaders are usually characterized by their expertise, their ability to solve problems, their critical thinking, their strategic thinking, and often they make decisions, with people as well. Sometimes, though, those decisions can be those from a perfectionist standpoint. And we really have to remember that when we're a leader and to be a successful leader, we need to be as inclusive as we can. While expert leaders bring valuable skills and knowledge to the table, you may struggle with delegation. You may struggle with the details. You may have challenges really seeing the bigger picture. You're getting there. You're just not there yet. Number four is the achiever. The achiever really kind of works on results oriented and goal driven practice. You excel in the settings of accomplishing targets. You want to be able to inspire the team. You may not know how, but you want to inspire them. And then you want to be able to achieve the highest performance possible. I've been saying this for a long time. As a leader, our job is to get work done through other people, and we've got to be able to get the best work out of them. As you now adapt in managing your resources, you're going to start to see your ability to persuade and your ability to motivate and your ability to inspire a little bit different. Number five, it's the individualist. As an individualist leader, you are now characterized by your personal authenticity and value-driven leadership. This is really coming from the core of who you are and who you want to be able to share with the people who are in your charge, right? They encourage creativity. They encourage innovation. They want to work within teams, but they also want to promote individualism. Sometimes when you sit across from somebody, you see the greatness in them before they see the greatness in themselves. And even though you want them to be part of a core team, you do have to be able to grow them individually as well. And while individualist leaders foster positive work culture, you may find it challenging to balance those individual needs within the organizational goals. But I promise you, if you help people grow individually, they'll want to be part of a team as well. Number 6 is the strategist. As a strategist leader, you possess a holistic and systematic approach to leadership. You're adept at navigating complex issues and you're not as ambiguous as you once were. You're seeing patterns, you're seeing connections, and this is really what helps you focus on the long-term vision and the skills of building and executing strategic plans. Strategic leaders are crucial for guiding organizations through transformational change, but you may struggle with translating that vision into actionable steps. And again, you still need to be able to grow, and you still need to be able to get to that next step. But next is the alchemist. And in this transformation, you represent the pinnacle of leadership development. You have a sense of purpose. You have a sense of being profound, a profound understanding about what needs to be done. And now you're starting to understand how to get that work done. You're able to, knock down barriers. You're able to inspire. You're able to motivate. And you're able to now see what it needs to get yourself, to get your team to the next level. Now, one of the things that I want to go ahead before we conclude is I want to talk about the evidence of why we need to embrace these transformations. One of the things that we have to know as leaders is we don't know it all. If you know everything there is to know about leadership, raise your hand. And this is one of the challenges that I think we have with leaders in EMS is we get to a pinnacle and we think that we've attained our height of our leadership ability. And we need to be able to know that leadership isn't developed in a day, but it's developed daily. And we've got to continue to grow, and we've got to continue to be the best version of ourselves as possible. When we start to embrace the 7 transformations of leadership, it's essential for our adaptability, for our problem solving, for our employee engagement. And there's nothing more important than engaging the employee. I define leadership. If we measure leadership success, it's how engaged, satisfied, and productive the workforce is. And our focus has to be employee engagement. We have to be able to have good sustainable growth, and we have to have good ethical leadership. When we have a good transformation of our leadership styles, we'll be adaptable, we'll be good problem solvers and critical thinkers, we'll have good employee engagement, and we'll understand growth, and we'll come from an ethical side. So, in conclusion, leadership is not a one-size-fits-all process. We've got to be able to take the journey in professional development, in organizational growth, in personal development, and we've got to be able to become the best leaders that we can. Embracing these transformations is essential for building an adaptable, effective, and ethical leadership style, but more importantly, building adaptable, effective, and ethical members of our workforce. I want to thank you for joining me this month. I'm Chris Cebollero, co-host of the Inside EMS podcast. Join Kelly Grayson and I every Friday as we go inside EMS with the latest news, with the latest stories that are coming to you from inside EMS. I want to thank you for joining me and taking a few minutes here to talk about leadership. Remember to become a fan of the Inside EMS podcast with Kelly Grayson and myself. New shows come out every Friday, and we will talk with everyone real soon when we go over the next leadership article.